There's a moment that happens in the quiet hours of the evening. A moment most people never think twice about. A moment that feels innocent, even comforting. You're winding down. The day is done. The world outside grows dark and still. And you find yourself standing in the glow of the refrigerator, reaching for something. A handful of crackers. A piece of cheese. A small bowl of ice cream. Maybe just a few bites of leftovers from dinner. It's not a binge. It's not even real hunger. It's just a habit. A ritual. Something to soothe you as the day comes to a close. And you tell yourself it's fine. It's small. It's harmless. After all, how much damage could a little snack before bed really do? But what if I told you that this seemingly innocent habit, this late-night eating pattern you've fallen into, is quietly, invisibly, systematically damaging your metabolism in ways you can't see or feel until it's too late? What if the reason you wake up feeling sluggish, the reason your weight won't budge, the reason your energy has been declining for years, all traces back to what you're doing in those final hours before sleep? This isn't about willpower. This isn't about eating too much. This is about timing, about biology, about the hidden consequences of ignoring one of your body's most fundamental needs, the need for metabolic rest. Because after 50, your body doesn't forgive late-night eating the way it used to. The rules have changed, and the habit you thought was harmless is slowly breaking down the very system that keeps you healthy, vibrant, and alive. Let me take you back to a time before electric lights, before refrigerators, before 24-hour access to food became the norm. For most of human history, our ancestors lived according to the sun. When darkness fell, eating stopped, not by choice, but by necessity. There was no food to find in the dark, no meals to prepare without fire and daylight. And so, every single night, their bodies entered a state of rest, not just physical rest, but metabolic rest. For 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours, their digestive systems went silent. Their insulin levels dropped. Their cells shifted from storing energy to burning it. Their bodies used the night to repair, to clean, to restore. This wasn't a diet. This wasn't a strategy. This was simply the rhythm of life. And our biology evolved to depend on it. But now we live in a world where the kitchen never closes, where snacks are always within reach, where eating at 9, 10, even 11 at night feels perfectly normal. And slowly, without realizing it, we've severed ourselves from the rhythm our bodies were designed to follow. And after 50, when your metabolism is already more fragile, more sensitive, more prone to dysfunction, this disconnection comes at a price. Here's what's happening inside your body when you eat late at night. Picture this. It's 10 in the evening. You've just finished a snack. Maybe something sweet. Maybe something salty. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you've triggered a metabolic cascade that will affect your body for the next 12 hours. First, your blood sugar spikes. Even if the snack was small, even if it felt insignificant, your pancreas releases insulin to manage that glucose. And here's the problem. Insulin is a storage hormone. Its job is to take energy and tuck it away. When insulin is elevated, fat burning stops. Completely. Your body shifts into storage mode, locking away calories instead of using them. Now, normally, this wouldn't be a disaster. If you were younger, if your metabolism were more resilient, your body would process that food relatively quickly, and insulin would drop back down within a few hours. But after 50, everything slows down. Your insulin doesn't clear as fast. Your cells are more resistant to its signal. That snack you ate at 10, your body might still be processing it at 2 in the morning. Still storing, still holding on. And while all of this is happening, your body is trying to do something else, something critical. It's trying to sleep. It's trying to repair. It's trying to enter the deep, restorative stages of rest, where cellular cleanup happens, where growth hormone is released, where your brain detoxifies. But it can't, because it's too busy digesting, too busy managing blood sugar, too busy dealing with the metabolic chaos you just introduced. And so, your sleep suffers. Not obviously. Not in a way you'd necessarily notice at first. But subtly, quietly. You don't reach the deepest stages of sleep. Your growth hormone release is blunted. Your cortisol levels rise earlier than they should. Your body never fully rests. And when you wake up in the morning, you feel it. That grogginess. That heaviness. That sense that sleep didn't quite do what it was supposed to do. This is the invisible damage. This is the slow erosion of your metabolism. Night after night. Habit after habit. Now let's talk about what happens when this pattern continues for months, for years. Your body begins to adapt, but not in a good way. Not in a way that makes you healthier or stronger. It adapts by becoming more insulin resistant, by producing more insulin to compensate, by storing more fat, especially around your midsection, because that's where insulin loves to deposit excess energy. Your circadian rhythm, that internal clock that governs everything from your sleep-wake cycle to your hormone production to your metabolism, begins to drift out of sync. Your body stops knowing when it's supposed to be in rest mode and when it's supposed to be in active mode. Everything becomes blurred, confused. And here's the cruel irony. The more your metabolism becomes damaged, the more you crave those late-night snacks. The more your blood sugar becomes unstable, the more you feel hungry at night. The worse you sleep, the more your hunger hormones become dysregulated the next day. It's a vicious cycle, a downward spiral. And most people don't even realize they're in it until they're stuck. They wonder why they can't lose weight no matter what they try. They wonder why their energy is so low. They wonder why their doctor is suddenly concerned about their blood sugar, their cholesterol, their inflammation markers. And the answer so often comes back to this one simple habit: eating too close to bedtime. But here's where it gets even more concerning. After 50, your body's ability to produce melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, naturally declines. You're already fighting an uphill battle when it comes to getting deep, restorative rest. And late-night eating makes it worse, because eating triggers a release of insulin, and insulin interferes with melatonin production. It disrupts the delicate hormonal cascade that's supposed to guide you into sleep. Not only that, but digestion itself generates heat. It raises your core body temperature at a time when your body is trying to cool down for sleep. This thermal disruption alone can prevent you from reaching the deep stages of sleep, where true restoration happens. And then there's the impact on growth hormone. This is one of the most important hormones for maintaining muscle mass, burning fat, and repairing tissue as you age. Growth hormone is primarily released during deep sleep. But when your body is busy digesting food, when insulin is elevated, growth hormone production is suppressed. So every night you eat late, you're robbing yourself of this critical repair signal. You're making it harder for your body to maintain muscle, harder to burn fat, harder to recover from the stresses of the day. And over time, this compounds. The muscle loss accelerates. The fat accumulation increases. The metabolic damage deepens. This is why late-night eating after 50 isn't just about gaining a few pounds. It's about accelerating aging itself. So what's the alternative? It's simpler than you might think. But it requires a shift in perspective. A willingness to honor your body's need for rest. Not just physical rest, but digestive rest. It's about establishing what's called an eating window. A clear period during the day when you eat, and an equally clear period when you don't. Ideally, you want to finish your last meal at least 3 hours before bed. For it would be even better. This gives your body time to process that food. Time to bring insulin levels back down. Time to shift from storage mode into repair mode before sleep begins. And when you do this consistently, night after night, something remarkable happens. Your sleep improves. Your morning energy returns. Your hunger hormones rebalance. Your metabolism begins to heal. Because here's what most people don't realize about metabolism. It's not fixed. It's not broken beyond repair. It's adaptive. It's responsive. And when you give it the right conditions, the right timing, the right rhythm, the right respect, it can heal. But that healing requires consistency. It requires you to break the pattern that's been damaging it for years. And I know what you might be thinking. But I get hungry at night. I can't just ignore it. I can't fall asleep if my stomach is empty. And I hear you. That feeling is real. But here's the truth. That nighttime hunger you experience isn't what it seems. It's not your body genuinely needing food. It's habit. It's conditioning. It's your brain expecting a reward at a certain time because you've trained it to expect one. Your body has more than enough stored energy to get you through the night. In fact, using that stored energy, tapping into fat reserves while you sleep, is exactly what your metabolism is designed to do. But it can only do that when insulin is low, when digestion has stopped, when you've given it permission to shift gears. And yes, the first few nights of breaking this habit will feel uncomfortable. You'll notice the urge to eat. You'll feel restless. You might even feel a little anxious. But if you can sit with that discomfort, if you can drink water, herbal tea, distract yourself with a book or a warm bath, you'll discover something profound. The hunger passes. It always does. It's a wave, not a permanent state. And after a few nights, your body stops sending those signals. It stops expecting food. It recalibrates. And in that recalibration, your metabolism begins to remember what it's supposed to do. It begins to function the way it did when you were younger. Not because you've turned back time, but because you've removed the obstacle that was blocking it. Let me tell you what happens when you finally stop eating late at night. When you create that sacred window of metabolic rest between your last meal and sleep. First, your sleep deepens. You might not notice it immediately, but within a week or two, you'll realize you're waking up feeling more refreshed, more restored. The grogginess that used to cling to you in the morning starts to lift. You feel clearer, more alert. This happens because your body is finally able to complete its nightly repair work. Without the burden of digestion, without elevated insulin, your cells can focus entirely on cleanup and restoration. Autophagy kicks into high gear. Damaged proteins are broken down. Cellular debris is cleared away. Your brain gets the deep detoxification it needs to function optimally. And your growth hormone? It surges. During those deep stages of sleep, your body releases pulses of growth hormone that work through the night to maintain muscle mass, strengthen bones, repair tissues, and burn fat. This is your body's natural anti-aging system, and late-night eating was silencing it. But now it's awake again, active again, working for you instead of against you. Then there's the impact on your morning metabolism. When you stop eating late at night, you naturally extend your overnight fast. Instead of eating at 10 in the evening and then again at 7 in the morning, a 9-hour window, you might finish dinner at 6 and not eat again until 10 or 11 the next day. That's a 15 or 16-hour fast. And during those extra hours, your body continues to burn fat. Your insulin stays low. Your cells remain in repair mode. And by the time you do eat your first meal, your metabolism is primed and ready. Your insulin sensitivity has improved. Your body is more efficient at processing food. This is why people who stop eating late at night often report effortless weight loss, even when they're eating the same amount of food overall. It's not about calories. It's about timing. It's about working with your body's natural rhythms instead of fighting against them. Now, let's talk about the psychological shift that happens when you break this habit. For many people, late-night eating isn't about hunger. It's about comfort. It's about stress relief. It's about filling a void that has nothing to do with food. Maybe you eat at night because you're bored, because you're lonely, because you're anxious about tomorrow, because it's the only time of day that feels like it belongs to you, and food is your reward for getting through another day. And I want you to know, that's okay. There's no shame in that. We all use food for comfort sometimes. We all seek solace in the familiar ritual of eating. But here's what I want you to consider. What if there were other ways to soothe yourself? What if there were other rituals, other rewards, that didn't come at the cost of your metabolism, your sleep, your health? What if, instead of reaching for a snack, you reached for a book, a warm bath, a few minutes of gentle stretching, a conversation with someone you love, a moment of stillness and gratitude before sleep? These things might not give you the immediate dopamine hit that food provides, but they offer something deeper, something more lasting. They offer true rest, true peace, true nourishment, not for your stomach, but for your soul. And when you begin to replace the habit of late-night eating with these other rituals, something shifts. You realize you don't actually need the food. You never did. What you needed was the pause, the comfort, the signal that the day is done and it's safe to rest. And you can give yourself that, without the metabolic damage. Let me share a story with you. A story that captures this transformation perfectly. Imagine a man, let's call him Robert. He's 62. He's been eating a small bowl of ice cream every night before bed for the past 15 years. It started innocently enough. A treat after a long day. A moment of sweetness before sleep. But over the years, Robert's weight has crept up. His sleep has deteriorated. His energy has plummeted. His doctor has warned him about prediabetes. And yet, Robert couldn't connect any of this to his nightly ice cream habit. It was just one small bowl. How could that be the problem? Then one day, Robert learns about the impact of late-night eating on metabolism. He's skeptical, but he's also tired of feeling tired. So he decides to try something different. He decides to stop eating after 7 in the evening. The first night is hard. He misses the ritual. He misses the taste. He lies in bed feeling restless, convinced he won't be able to sleep without his usual treat. But he does sleep. Not great, but he sleeps. The second night is a little easier. The third night, easier still. And then, something unexpected happens. By the end of the first week, Robert wakes up feeling different, more energized, more clear-headed. The fog that's been clouding his mornings for years begins to lift. By week 3, his clothes fit better. The scale shows a number he hasn't seen in a decade. His blood sugar readings start to improve. But more than any of that, Robert feels like himself again. He feels in control. He feels like he's finally working with his body instead of against it. And the ice cream, he still has it sometimes. But now it's at lunch. Now it's during his eating window, when his body can handle it without disrupting his sleep or damaging his metabolism. This is the shift. This is what becomes possible when you align your habits with your biology. So here's what I want you to understand. The bedtime habit that's damaging your metabolism isn't some dramatic, obvious mistake. It's not binge eating. It's not junk food binges. It's something far more subtle, far more insidious. It's the quiet snack, the innocent treat, the handful of nuts or piece of fruit or slice of cheese that seems harmless in the moment, but disrupts everything happening beneath the surface. After 50, your body needs that window of rest more than ever. It needs time without food, time without insulin spikes, time to repair, restore, and prepare for the next day. And when you give it that time, when you honor that need, everything changes. Your sleep improves. Your energy returns. Your metabolism heals. Your weight begins to normalize. Your hormones rebalance. This isn't a quick fix. This isn't a miracle cure. This is simply your body doing what it was designed to do when you stop interrupting it. So tonight, before you reach for that late-night snack, ask yourself, is this nourishing me? Or is this habit slowly breaking me down? And if the answer is the latter, maybe it's time to let it go.